anza safari ya kwenda kwenye jua kali. This is Siasa Wednesday. Tako Siasa Wednesday nazungumzia mambo ya siasa. It's been a crazy week. Tangu mambo ya court rulings na siasa za by elections ambazo zimechacha tangu jana. Nasikia leo watu pia wajalala na Halende wametoka Juja, sasa wamekuja direct kwenye studio. Pia Solomon hapa ametoka pia, nasikia huko Juja pia alikuwa Mangu ama sijui alikuwa wapi, atatuambia. It's good to see you guys. This is 19 May 2020. Tako Siasa Wednesday, where we talk everything about politics. So tutaanza na mambo ya state of the nation. We start with state of the nation. Tachukua simu zako tuambie mahali ulipo. Hali ikoje? Nambari ni 0779 800 0779 800. Lakini kabla ya hiyo, kama kawaida lazima tuende mbele za Mungu, alafu tukirudi salamu zenu nakuja kuwapa. Mighty Father, we come before you this morning. Worship and glorify your name. Thank you, Father, for another opportunity to be alive this morning. We thank you for what you've given our hands to do. As we wake up to go and work and do the things that you've given us the grace to do, we pray that you may bless the work of our hands. Even the class who are joining us this morning, may you be able to meet them at the individual point of need. Even thank you for the panelists as we discussed and have a conversation. May we edify the fabric of this country. So we start up with us. When we finish, glory and honor shall come back to your name. In the mighty name I pray and believe. Amen and amen. Asante sana. It's indeed a very, very good morning to you. Thank you so much. Na karibu. As usual, I request that when you join in, please like. When you like, I get to know that you're watching us. And what you like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. Please join in, please like, share, and let us know where you're watching us from. Where you're watching us from this morning. Tell me where you're watching us from this morning. We start with State of the Nation. State of the Nation 0779 800 or 779 800 or 779 800. Haya, tunaenda kupiga siasa. Naona pale mambo kidogo miti inaanza kuteleza kwa chama kubwa kubwa. Pale Ponchari niliona kulikuwa na sugu. Ni maana ODM pia imetoa statement. Raila Odinga ametoa statement sema kuna watu ambao wanataka kuleta shida, wana misuse power of the state. Sema these are the people who want to discredit handshakes. Sijui inakuaje ODM sasa, kama sijui kama ndio itakuwa kwanza kuondoka kwenye handshake ama itakuwaje. Jubilee pia imekuwa na usiku mrefu, mchana na usiku mrefu pale Juja. In by elections pale Ruri pia kumekuwa na nipishe ama vuta ni kuvute ya siasa pale. So tutakuja kuzungumza tujue kazi iko vipi. 0779 800 0779 800. Tunaanza na state of the nation 0779 800. Tuambie mahali ulipo, hali ikoje. Kama uko Juja tuambie kama uko salama ama umeshikanishwa na maneno. Kama uko na Bonchari tuambie by election ilikuwa vipi. Ama mahali popote ulipo tuambie kwamba siasa unaona ikoje. Inaweza kuwa kwamba zile vyama ndogo zinaanza kuibuka ikianza kunyorosha vyama kubwa. And what's going wrong in the big parties? What's going in Jubilee? What's going on in ODM? And also what is the state of the handshake as we proceed with these politics, especially by elections that you are seeing coming in. Kiamba is next. So I think Jubilee are going to put up a very serious fight. Solomon KURIA atatuambia ni strategy gani ambayo wako naye pale. Lakini kabla hiyo acha nipige salamu zenu hapa Kiblagat. Anatayari watu washamuka. State of the nation, good morning.
Hello.
State of the nation, tafadhali zima pale nyuma yako tafadhali. Haya, niambie nazungumza na nani?
Na unazungumza na Kamau Vitali from Mainya Narok.
Kutoka wapi? Hello, you ametuacha. Haya, state of the nation 0779 800 or 779 800. State of the nation 0779 800. Pigia simu niambie mahali ulipo, hali ikoje. Kiblaka tutia sema good morning to you Emmanuel Serem, good morning my brother, good morning. Machakor Van Elerian sema good morning to you Amon Biward logged in from Sisibo. Asante David Kamau, good morning team Takol, happy to see you all. Good to see you my brother. Alan Langat, good morning to you Alan. Desmond Mutungu Ngogi, good morning to you. Johnson Koech tuned in. Asante Brovosky Kiprit Jr, good morning, logged in from Mount Kelgon. Thank you. Munga Luto continue all day from Coventry United Kingdom. Morning team Takol tuning in from Coventry United Kingdom. Asante sana Kimtai Vini, good morning to you. Naona Gamaliel Baba yao, good morning gentlemen watching from Karen. Asante. Peter K live from Keses constituency. Agnes Kimani, Agnes Kimnai, good morning Takol, good morning to you. Emmanuel Serem naona amemsha Honorable Moses Nyiganet Kebene, na sijaona kama ameamka. Amemsha Cheptap Kuriret, mbona Cheptap Kuriret ameamka. Glado Fedu na kuona Natasha Meto, good to see you. Jambo State of the Nation, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. How are you? Yamepotea tena. Haya, Natasha Meto naona ameamushwa pia. Karibu sana Natasha. Naona David Kitu nasema good morning G and crew from tuned in from Kapsabet. Asante sana, good to see you. Emmanuel Serem amsha Isaac Serem, Leonard Serem na Julie Chirchir. Asante Mwangi wa Weru. Good morning Juja ni Firirinda tu. Haya. Haya watu wa Juja. Na mambo kweli. Haya, jambo State of the Nation, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you sir?
Hello?
Hey, jambo, unanisikia?
Hello?
Nakusikia dadi, niambie. Haya. Good morning, State of the Nation.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, mambo.
Poa. Lady Tosha Rosie wa Tarbo.
Sema Rosie, hali ikoje?
Tarbo tuko poa, tumeamuka poa.
Ulisema jana kulikuwa na recruitment ya polisi pale Bonchari.
Hata nilishangaa. Yaani polisi.
Na wewe ulikuwa unaenda kutafuta nini Bonchari mtu wa Tarbo?
Mimi? Nilitaka UDA washinde. Mimi UDA damo.
Aya, ala.
Kwa hivyo tumeona number 1 ODM si mbaya sana. Sisi number 2. Wale walipeleka recruitment number 3. Hiyo inanifurahisha sana.
Umefurahi?
Nimefurahi.
Lakini kwa mara ya kwanza ati UDA inasema heri ODM ishinde na ODM inasema heri UDA ishinde. Kwani nini inaendelea?
So unajua wale wengine wanatucheza ile mbaya sana.
Okay.
Walitucheza, wanacheza ODM, sasa hao na ndio walipeleka recruitment huko. Wakiwa namba 3 si mbaya sana. Hiyo ni iliwafaa kabisa.
Sasa mama kushikana tena kuwacheza.
Siasa mchezo mbaya, huko mbele tutajua tu.
Haya, asante sana Rosie Wataru, umekuwa na siku njema.
Poa.
Haya, State of the Nation, good morning. State of the Nation, good morning. State of the Nation, good morning. Naona huyo amepotea pia, amekuja akapotea. Rosie Wataru anasema mlicheza, sasa anawacheza. Haya, Mwangi Weru, good morning. Juja ni Free Hinda, Ahmed Musa tuned in from Kampala, Uganda. Thank you so much, good to see you, Ahmed. Silas Kiai niko ndani, asante Tito KURIA, good morning. Douglas, good morning to you. State of the Nation, good morning.
Good morning, Jelad. How are you?
How are you, sir? Who am I speaking to?
I'm Kamoge Town from Nyandarua County.
Watu wa Nyandarua vipi bana?
Tuko wazima, kwanza ni shukrani na niambie congratulations to Francis Muhaya.
Nasikia Mungu lala ni Firirinda mpaka asubuhi.
Firirinda MCA elect Saturday watu hiyo ni neighbor yangu. Na niambie watu warudie sasa, siasa zimeisha.
Turudi kazi.
Watu washikane mikono. Tufanye kazi, tusukume Nyandarua vizuri. So my friend Solomon Kuria akiingia hapo.
Ndio hiyo kama tayari.
Mwambie adunue chai sasa. I told him very early hii Rorie tutaichukua, akakataa kusikia.
Sasa kwa nini Jubilee ilianguka pale Rorie?
Jubilee walifanya brother moja, my friend Gerald. Wakatumia nguvu. During the nomination, Solomon is a witness.
Yes.
There was no fair kukua na fair nomination huko. So they imposed a person who is not mwenye watu wa Rorie hawataki.
Okay.
And this is going to happen still in Juja.
Aya.
Tunakoja na mwambie tuko hapo Juja, bado utaona hiyo. Na if they repeat that mistake in Kiambaa, the same thing will happen.
Lakini asikuwa amejipanga Kiambaa.
Unless wamejipanga kutokana na yenye wameona. But if they will repeat that mistake, wataona hayo tu ndio ataona hayo.
Haya, asante ndugu yangu watu Rorie. Haya, State of the Nation, good morning.
Good morning.
Jambo kaka.
Jambo, habari yako?
Salama sana ndugu, naongea na nani?
Mimi naitwa Mati Borama Vuvuzela.
Vuvuzela, jambo.
Jambo.
Mutai iko aje?
Iko salama, lakini naona Kenya wameamua. Penye Kenya inaenda sasa, si inji si ya mtu. Na hii si ya mama ya mtu.
Tena.
Ukiona kama hasla sasa, wameanza sasa kufuga kule ground, juu mbele, iko kuzuri.
Sasa ulikuwa umejipiga rangi ya Jubilee mwaka uliopita 2017, ulikuwa umepiga rangi mgongo. Nini imeharibika Jubilee tena mkai huko?
Jubilee tuliwapigia kura, tulikuja, tuliwasupport, and then at long last walitupa watu yao. Hakuna mtu alifaidika kwa serikali, wengine waliingia kutoka nje. Na wakakuja wakatufinya sisi wote tukatoka.
Sasa mumehama.
Lakini round hii tumehama, sisi tuko UDA. Na round hii tumesema kumera.
Tena
kwetu kama reservoir tunasema ukweli wa mambo. Kazi ni kazi.
Asante ndugu yangu. Haya, good morning State of the Nation.
Hello bwana Bitoka, habari ya asubuhi.
Salama sana kaka, vipi?
Mzuri kabisa. Maina Wanjoki hapa kutoka New Jersey.
Watu wa diaspora, mambo vipi?
Salama kabisa.
Hali unaonaje?
Nimekuwa nikifuatilia. Sasa vile iko, and this is what I've said, hata kutoka ikili ianze, wakati ilianza tu mwanzo. Wananchi wamechoka Gerald. wamechoka na madharau na chuki na kufanya vitu. How do you build a house and then mtu anakuja tu kuanza kuleta watu wengine kuvuruga and then unaona madharau inafanyika? Kwa mfano, watu wanasema kuko na sijui nini, but the issue is watu wamechoka and they are not ready to kuvumilia each other another one more minute. They want to prove a point that it is not the power of the gun or the mighty of your account that really counts. Kwa sababu ukiona wale watu wamechaguliwa kwa mapenzi ya wananchi. Hapana kwa kuwa intimidated ama kukua coerced ama kupatiwa pesa, hapana. Most of them mahali wale walianguka, pesa ilikuwa imemwagwa nyingi sana. Watu wananchi wakasema hapana. Na mimi nashukuru sana watu wa Juja na watu wa Rurie wamefanya kazi nzuri sana. Na zaidi ya hiyo tusisahau kwamba kuna wale viongozi walienda kusimamia hapo. Kwa mfano wakina Rigathi Gachagua na hao wengine wote ambao pia tunarudishia shukrani sana kwa sababu they are proving a point. It is not, na sisi tunapenda president mpaka leo tujasema ati tunamdharau. But then the issue is wale watu wanamzunguka na hiyo wanasema sijui deep state, sijui cartel ama sijui deep stick. Those are the people failing it. They're exposing this underbelly. Kwa sababu ukiangalia zile vitu mahali inafanyika, those are his strongholds. Hapana wacheni rais anakuwa exposed kwa sababu ya nyinyi mnataka kukua kila wakati ni kuwinda William Ruto. Kila wakati mkikata kona ni kuwinda William Ruto. Sasa William Ruto anapendwa na watu, kwa nini nyinyi mkipendwa hivyo ile anapendwa bure? Ni hayo tu. Asante.
Haya, asante sana ndugu yangu kutoka New Jersey. Jamaa wangu wa New Jersey pala. Haya, askuru umesikia mambo yenu. State of the Nation, good morning. State of the Nation, good morning. State of the Nation, good morning. State of the Nation. State of the Nation, good morning.
Hello.
Jambo.
Jambo, good morning to you, Gerald.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. This is Kalia from Menokwisha. And now,
Sema chama.
The other time...
Ato let's go lazima stima kwa Kettle Dip.
No, the other time you were with Mshendo, I took you through a literature class and you were talking about the Oedipus complex. And I told you no one should ever say they are successful until they are carried their success to the grave in peace. Today with your students, I want to take you through a history class.
Yes.
Because little did I know last week that the courts will actually say that some people who are celebrating were not successful. And they won't be until they carry their success to the grave in peace. And for those who are celebrating this time,
yes,
I want to take them through a history class. And I'll go back to the agrarian revolution. And I'll tell them that this is the time when man decided that I shall now start to have some form of organized agriculture. Wakaanza kujipanga, wakakuwa na barabara kwa shamba and all that. Kidogo, there was need also for changes to be done. There was need for things to change. And there was introduction of industrial revolution. During industrial revolution, we started using tools. And people, there was the notion, you see, most of the politicians right now, the old ones, were affected by the industrial revolution. And the industrial revolution, mtu huko kwetu Moiben, penye natoka mimi na wewe, mtu angekuja atuambie, walisema Nairobi last week. Meaning that information would take time to travel. So tungekuja tuambiwe, kujeni hapa niwaambie. You see, that was the format of which watu walikuwa wamezoea. But this time now,
habari iko nayo hapa.
There was need for changes to happen. And so a revolution also happened. And we have the information age. And the political class has they haven't noticed that we are in the information age. Hawajatoka bado wako industrial. And that is why bado wanakuja wanatuambia kuhusu vitu je tunajua. Let them tell us new things. Especially let them stop giving us proverbs. Right now watufungulie watuambie watupe new things. And so for those who are celebrating, I'm still telling them that we are in the information age, and people are observing. And so let them not take too long to celebrate. Because I remember when, like nakumbuka tukicelebrate Jubilee atukulala. Wale walifiririnda. I'm warning you.
Asante sana. Chairman Gatu wanakisha Kettle Dip. Jambo. State of the Nation, good morning. State of the Nation, good morning.
Good morning.
State of the Nation, good morning. Hello, nasikia kidogo network yako ina shida. Rudia tena, rudia simu yako. State of the Nation 0779 800 010 0779 800 010 State of the Nation 0779 800 010. Tunafunga simu in the next 5 minutes. Kama unapiga simu, piga haraka upesi. State of the Nation 0779 800 010. Tuambie hali ikoje mahali ulipo. Anyway, sikia watu wanasema waje kufilinda mapema. Haya, State of the Nation, good morning.
Good morning, Gerard.
How are you, sir?
Niko salama sana.
Naongea na nani?
Unaongea na Martin Waroi kutoka Kasarani.
Habari ya Kasarani?
Salama sana.
Wewe ndio unaenda kupiga teke debe ya kura.
Sasa unajua if you make your bed you must be ready to lie on it.
Ala?
Now, there is something that people need to understand about Mount Kenya electorate, whether in the diaspora or huko Mount Kenya. These are people who make their decisions very early. So if you are in Mount Kenya or if you are a leader from Mount Kenya, and that includes President Uhuru Kenyatta, people don't vote you out during the election. Watu wanakuwaga wamepoteza viti even 1 year after they are elected into office. And therefore, what you are seeing in Rurie, in Juja, and what happened in in London Ward, these are decisions that the electorate in Mount Kenya made a long time ago, maybe even in 2018.
Yes.
And therefore, nothing is going to change their mind. Something very fundamental has to happen in our politics to change their mind.
Okay.
And this thing of the deep state,
yes.
Even in 2022, I have always believed that, especially the politicians who are, coalescing around the BBI, I have always believed that they have perhaps been promised that they are going to be helped, to win their seats back in 2022. And, in 2022, it's going to be a different ballgame. The logistics of managing a general election is, it's tough, yeah?
Okay.
So, kila mtu atakuwa anashughulika na kura zake in 2022, and rigging is going to be very difficult in 2022. Again, people need to understand that the Supreme Court said that elections happen at the polling centers. At the constituency tallying center, it's just collating results, yeah?
So huwezi iba kura kwa tallying center?
Huwezi iba kura. Now, the agents have sent the forms 34As at the polling centers. The results have been announced there.
So let me ask you, sir, very quickly, what do you think the big parties are doing wrong that the small parties are beginning to do right? What's happening in the big parties?
The stifling of democracy within the ruling parties. And I asked Mheshimiwa Rigathi when he was there, I asked him, Mheshimiwa,
yes,
what has happened in the Jubilee, the purging in Jubilee, and the implosion that has happened in that party? Don't you think that is going to affect, politics, especially in Mount Kenya? Because people are not going to have a lot of confidence in these parties, because why would you take yourself to a party, invest in it, and you know that you are still there, or your interests are not going to be taken care of that? So in Mount Kenya, we are going to see small political parties coming up and independent candidates. A lot of people standing as independent candidates. And that is the exact question that I posed to Rigathi Gachagua when he was there. Because for me, that is going to be the natural reaction of the kind of management that has happened in the Jubilee party. There is going to be a reaction. And that is going to expose President Uhuru Kenyatta a lot. Because you see, if you do not have people in a big political party, Gerard, how do you even mobilize them? How do you whip them? They are scattered all over. So this is going to affect it. But I think it's good for Mount Kenya because, as we have seen, sometimes when you put people in a political party and in a big political party, a lot of things go wrong. And I think it's good for democracy. I want to see NAK Kenya. I want to see Moses Kuria's party, Martha Karua's party, Mwangi Kiunjuri's party, independent. People being elected in different political vehicles. That is good for democracy.
Okay. What do you foresee? What do you foresee as we proceed towards 2022?
2022, the people who are coalescing around BBI, their political grave has been finished. Now they are writing their political obituary. And I think the future, the voters, I think, are with the politicians or with the leaders that are against the BBI and the people who are against the handshake. That is what we are seeing.
Asante sana Martin.
William Ruto ya kusema, lastly, this story of saying, you cannot buy a Kikuyu, you can only rent one. I think, this is a narrative that is being debunked one. I think what people are finding difficult to come to terms with is that William Ruto has managed to do what other politicians have not managed to do. That he has managed to come to Mount Kenya, he has penetrated, and he is in the hearts of the people. And that is something even President Kenyatta is finding difficult to. He cannot understand where that happened, when it happened, or why it happened. So lakini itabidi tu amekula ujeuri wao. 2022 it's going to be a real massacre 2022. They better watch out and change.
Asante sana Martin Ori kutoka Kasarani. Salimia sana watu wa Kasarani wote. Haya, State of the Nation simu mbili za mwisho. Maana kuna simu ya Texas na kuna simu ya UK ambayo imeingia. Kama uko Texas naona umepiga simu plus nambari yako inaisha na 5 inaisha na nini? Nambari yako inaisha na 47. Watu wa Texas kama upiga simu uko Texas na nambari ya Coventry United Kingdom wapiga simu mbili na chukua za mwisho State of the Nation. Tukifunga virago ndio tuingie kwa kazi ya leo. Tutaweza kufungua bunge tena, bunge la mwenyeji baadaye pale masaa ya saa 3:30, lakini tukielekea kufunga State of the Nation 0779-800-010 0779-800-010 State of the Nation 0779-800-010. Jambo State of the Nation, good morning.
Morning, Jared.
Jambo.
I think story of Jubilee Jubilee has started collecting things as they go home.
Yeah.
And Juja has confirmed that today. And I think ni Martin from Kikuyu.
Yes, Martin wa Kikuyu.
I think we have talked so much about this thing about BBI, and I told you that this thing is not going anywhere.
Okay.
And now this anything that is going to come after the verdict from the High Court is just going to be an embarrassment to President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Okay. Asante. Jambo State of the Nation, good morning.
Yeah, naitwa Abraham Jalanga.
Sema Abraham.
Napika kutoka Eldoret.
Sema haraka tusikie.
State of the Nation.
State of the Nation.
Yeah, mimi ile kitu inaniuma sana ni ya wanasiasa kusema kwamba machaji wanawasanyang'anywa security kwa sababu wanatoa uamuzi yenye haendani na serikali.
Haya.
Hii Kenya si banana republic, iko na katiba ambayo inalinda hawa machaji na inalinda hata sisi wenye tunachukua hawa viongozi.
Asante sana ndugu yangu Chelanga kutoka Eldoret. Umekasirika sana Chelanga.
Mimi hapa tu kila mtu afuate line yake.
Kila mtu akae kwa line yake.
Sisi tukae line yetu, hata sisi hatujawahi jua sababu gani mafuta inapita hapa kutoka hapa mpaka Uganda inauzwa bei ya chini. Alafu hapa Kenya mafuta iko juu kuliko ile inapita hapa mpaka Uganda.
Na imepita hapa.
Na imepita kwetu.
Makosa tutaanza kukunywa kwa tank, lakini hiyo ni transit msikunywe. Haya. State of the Nation address tunaifunga. Sasa tunaifunga kazi, wacha niangalie comments. Mbona Waruguru Kiai tayari ameamka. Asante sana Waruguru Kiai. Kipkurui Ben anasema from Nyahururu. Asante sana Titus Kumara na from Trans Nzoia County. Susana Akiru anasema hi GB from Rome, never missed a call. Asante sana tu wa Roma Italia, nashukuru sana. Matthew Bor, good morning. Good morning to my brother. Abdul Muaz, good morning from Wajir County. Watu wa Wajir County bwana, how can you move on so quickly? Yani hata bwana hata ink, yani hata rangi bwana ya kalamu ambayo walitumia kuimpeach governor wenu tayari mshasonga mko na serikali mpya. Anyway, Burugu John Njuguna, hiyo ni chairman mwenyewe wa IGTRC Intergovernmental Relationship. Tafi karibu sana ndugu yangu, good to see you morning tackle alo bitoka team falling from Nairobi. Thank you so much my brother, good to see you. Na karibu tena kuja tuambie serikali sasa hivi kuna uhusiano wa aina gani na county government. Naona devolution, watu wa county government sasa wanaanza kujitenga, wanalalamika kwamba wapati hela za kutosha kutoka ile serikali kuu. Collins Kipto watching from Industrial, good to see you. Expita Kipro, morning, looking from Kericho. Congratulations to you, especially the performance pale Bonchari. Achepchetit kutoka. Good morning GB. Good morning to my sister Robin Degwa, tuned in from Atlanta. Kipkoech Kandia watching from Voi. Taita Tafeda Tap Arusai mwenyewe kutoka diaspora. So good morning Gerald Tirek from the USA, your biggest fan. Asante sana, thank you so much Tap Arusai. It's good to see you. Dennis Mondet Kirui, good morning young man. Tafuta tukule lunch baada ya kazi. Keep going. Haya, asante naona nimeshapata offer ya lunch. Winnie Chepchechit watching from Kakamega. Dennis Oseko Telmo World Media represented from Bonchari constituency. Asante sana. Aros Deyala, Lady Tosha from Tarbo watching. Asante sana Lady Tosha. Kama Mzing, good morning. Kamau kutoka Marwa. Elijah Omwenga na kuona. Samson na kuona. Jacqueline Jebichi na kuona. Habel na wana wote. Haya, wacha tuende kazi kwa kazi ya leo. Natumai kwamba tayari mmesikia State of the Nation. Wananchi wanasemaje? Tanzania KHALENDE. Mmesikia wananchi wanasemaje mambo ya State of the Nation?
Mimi nimesikia wananchi wanazungumzia mambo ambayo yanaendelea nchini. Na haswa mambo ya Juja na mambo ya Jubilee na maneno ya BBI. And on what is happening to Jubilee Party. It is a classical example of big political parties like the KANUs of those days.
Okay.
When the big boys stifle democracy within the political party, this is the end results. Jubilee systematically started attacking its own members, its elected leaders, and started segregating its members.
Okay.
And this is the end result. Kusambaratika kwa Jubilee. Finally, somebody can write a thesis of the rise and fall of Jubilee Party. And I saw an interesting tweet from Senator Murkomen yesterday when he said, finally, we will return back Jubilee to its real owner, Jubilee Insurance. So this is what is happening. And it's something that was predictable. And I've seen some of the still Jubilee or Kieleweke wing are saying they have learned from their mistake.
Okay.
They are not learning. They are yet to experience. Because this is a systematic thing that some 2 or 3 people within the hierarchy of Jubilee have decided to do. Started to chase away members, started to chase away nominated members, started to chase away representatives who are representing the PWDs, started to chase away women within the Jubilee Party. Now they have chased away even voters. And that's why in Juja, things are crumbling. In fact, the election, the way the results are now, with the Form 35As that I've seen, it's better they just declare the results. Because Kaimburi has already won.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are in Juja. What happened in Juja yesterday?
What happened in Juja? It was very unfortunate. Police brutality, intimidation, voter bribery was at a high rate.
Okay.
And it was being done by the real people who call themselves Jubilee Party. There's a case I happened to attend to. There's a police station, we went there. Some 4 women were arrested. Reason being, they voted and came out celebrating for the person whom they have voted for. And the chief of that area instructed the police to arrest them. So you can see the state in which Jubilee is. If you go to Bonchari, the CS for Interior is being alleged to be interfering with what is going there, to an extent that he instructed the police in Bonchari to go and storm the compound of the governor. And I think ODM issued a statement, and they are going to issue a statement today. So Jubilee is not learning from Sambweni, from other by-elections, and I think it's high time that we declare the rise and fall of Jubilee Party.
Okay. Sawa KURIA.
Yes.
Umesikia wananchi State of the Nation wanasemaje? I don't know what your thoughts on the State of the Nation.
Nimewasikia wamesema maneno mingi.
Kwanza najua mara yako ya kwanza kwa tako leo. So karibu sana. Hapa hao watu wanakuanga wanoma.
Asante kwa
hapa unapatanga feedback hapa kwa hapa. So akikulima usikuwa na shida, ama wakikupenda pia usifurahi sana.
Na sina shida.
Haya, nakuwa nafasi kwanza maybe introduce kwa watu wangu.
Mimi naitwa Solomon KURIA. Mimi ndiye chairman wa chama cha Jubilee tengo la vijana. What we call Jubilee Party Youth League. Na kwanza nichukue fursa hii to congratulate all those who won in Rorie, Bonchari and Juja, but still I don't know whether the results have been made official, but as per yesterday midnight we had a stalemate and we had to stop it.
Okay.
I don't know whether IBC by now have announced the winner.
Okay.
But whoever it is, congratulations. What I would say is it's good to celebrate. And a win is so sweet. It's always sweet.
Kuanguka pia ni noma zaidi.
Yes. But until now, you are through with the full cycle. You don't celebrate yet. Okay. Serious politicians will tell you that. William Ruto will tell you that. Uhuru Kenyatta can tell you that. Raila Amolo Odinga can tell you that confidently. That you don't celebrate until it is over. These are just by-elections. Okay. You remember what happened in Msambweni? ODM lost to which party? Was that guy vying on? ODM lost. And the issue was the candidate. It was not about the party. In Juja, I admit, as a member of the party and an official of the party, that there was an issue with the Jubilee Party candidate in Juja. There was an issue. And therefore, I cannot sit here and conclude that Jubilee Party lost. Okay. No. It's our picking of the candidate that had an issue. And there are some things I have always said.
Why did you not pick the right candidate?
You know, there are players in the party. Sometimes you may not have too much say. What you do, you just give an advice. If it is followed or not, it's not up to you. But I had my ground that was not the right candidate for me. And even now I'm saying, if we repeat the same mistake in Kiambaa, we're going to lose it. So the best thing is pick the right card so that we have a contest. A contest. That's what happens in Mount Kenya. We are always people who go for contests, and the right person wins. So in Rorie, I can confidently tell you that it was a vote against the governor.
Why? What if you had won?
It was a vote.
What if you had won there? Would you still be saying the same things? It was a win
I would be
for
saying
the governor?
It's a win for the governor. Because he is the person who was entrusted with running the campaigns there. The whole battalion of Tanga went down there. What they did, and that's why I'm saying it's a vote against him. What they did, they went there, tarnished his whole track record on development and everything else, called him names and said, you guys, if you have to vote for, if you vote for a Jubilee candidate, then you're voting for Governor Kimemia. And you're not going to experience any.
What happened in Kimemia?
MCAs were there. I saw a caucus of MCAs who went down there, and they told people that, if you vote Dhenji, our candidate is Peter Dhenji. Yes. They told people there that if you vote in Peter Dhenji, he will be rubber stamping whatever the governor says because he's the governor's candidate. Okay. So the contest was changed from between Moriah and Dhenji to between Tanga and Kimemia. Okay. And I would say that that was the voting pattern in Rorie. But for Juja, we got the wrong candidate. And that I admit. And I'm saying, going forward, we're not going to repeat the same mistake.
So who is to blame?
Of course, the picking authority, the guys who settles on the candidate. Because
if she had won, would she have been the right candidate?
You remember, I was in charge of Jubilee Party nominations in the Rorie Ward. And I remember very well that the turnout for Jubilee Party members was about 5,000 in a ward. And then there was Juja nominations where 3,000 people turned up in a constituency with 114,000 voters. What are you telling me? That was total failure, according to me. And I asked serious questions. How can how can we have 5,000 voter turnouts in a Rorie award of about 16,000 voters? And we only had 3,000 voters turning out to vote in a nomination at Juja. I think we didn't do proper mobilization. We have learnt our lessons. And the best thing in this game of politics, ukichengwa, kwanza unakubali. Lakini after
kichengwa kubali, unapata lessons.
Ukichengwa, lesson inaingia sasa. Na kwa sababu we are heading now to Kiambaa and Kiambaa and Mogoga. We're not going to repeat the same mistakes. Okay. I think we need to restructure and come and say. But one thing I want to say to Kenyans, that's why I said, do not celebrate yet.
Bado masa. Bado mechi. Game ni 90.
Matokeo ya chaguzi dogo zote. Okay. Mara mingi, they do not determine the outcome in a general election. And I can't defend that.
But Jubilee has almost lost all the by-elections.
No.
A big party, a serious party in power.
Who have won more?
I don't know, but I mean, when you compare where it does not feel that, okay, fine, it has lost. Where it has feel that somehow, it only it has won was Naivasha, I think, in the by-elections. These are small parties that are competing.
We just lost in London Ward. We won in Hell's Gate.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You had in Naivasha. So does it feel better that you're competing with a party?
Senator Garissa.
Okay, in Garissa.
Yes.
Hi, so what happened? So there's also a statement that has been issued by Raila Odinga on ODM's party leader on Bonchari constituency. I would want to ask you this because you work closely with the government, also with Raila Odinga. I've seen you in those press conferences of Anshek. And there has been a serious outcry from ODM party in Bonchari constituency over what they claim to have been an overuse of police force. And I want to read something that Raila Odinga tweeted today. And it says, what we have witnessed in the by-elections in Bonchari and Juja, Bonchari and Juja, is an abuse of police powers and an arrogant display of impunity by a few overzealous and bellicose government functionaries. An election process is an opportunity for voters to express their will at the ballot and not an avenue to pursue imaginary and short-legged political interests. Security forces exist to serve the people. Now, this is a complaint against an Ashek partner.
Yes. Government.
How does that make you feel?
You see, this is not a complaint against the hardship partner.
Okay.
No. You have to know that the police department is independent.
Who runs it? Who gives the instructions?
It's headed by the IG. The president is the commander-in-chief of defense forces. We have the inspector general of police.
Okay.
And if you even read a complaint they wrote last time in Bonchari, they directed their grievances to the IG. And therefore, the IG is the one to look into this. Are we together?
Okay.
So, number 2, last time we had the same thing in Matungu. ODM complained of the same. Remember, Pitok. This was a contest.
Okay.
It was, that's it and by the way, your viewers need to know that UDA was a distant number 3.
I just noticed that now. It came number 3.
Yes. Number 1 is ODM, number 2 is Jubilee, and number 3 is UDA.
Okay.
But it was a contest because number 1 has around 8,000 votes, number 2 has about 7,000 votes, and number 3. So the stakes were high. The stakes were high.
It was a close contest. It's not a tight contest.
Yes,
okay.
You expect, and I'm not starting with the police. Like for instance, in Rorie, what happened? There were some agents, there were complaints about agents getting into the polling center. And then before the policemen could decide on who is supposed to get in or who is not supposed to get in consultation with IEBC, some supporters started throwing stones.
Okay.
So how do you expect the policemen to react? So in a highly contested election, you expect such to happen. But we always urge the policemen to use, not to use.
So do you agree that the police were misused in the by-elections?
No, I don't agree.
Okay.
I don't agree.
Okay.
They could have used some extra force here and there, but I don't agree that they were instructed to go and beat up people or do things. No, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What are your thoughts, KHALENDE?
Yesterday I witnessed some incidents in Juja.
Okay.
And let me highlight to my brother Solomon those incidents. At JKUAT DB Primary School, the police were escorting goons who are carrying marked ballot papers into one stream.
Okay.
And it's Honorable Moses KURIA and Irungu Karangata and the local people within that area, or the voters, when walikuwa wanalinda kura, managed to salvage the situation. At the tallying center in Mangu, it is the governor of Kiambu, Nyoro, who stormed the tallying center with almost 200 goons with crude weapons.
I saw IBC issued a statement last night.
And caused commotion in the room. And what happens? The police protected Governor Nyoro and chased away and tear gassed even our the PEP candidate with his party leader Moses KURIA. So when we are saying this incident where police comes and intervene and say that they are coming to intervene the situation, but at the same time, they are even protecting the people who are threatening the life, who are causing violence, who are intimidating voters. So this thing is there to an extent that in the middle of the night, IBC ended up issuing a statement in the suspending the tallying of Juja elections, which is specifically, even in that statement, you can clearly say that certain goons, it was not certain goons, it is Governor Ndindi Nyoro. Even the clip
not
was
Ndindi
live.
Ndindi Nyoro will sue you.
It was Governor Nyoro. Yes. And it was live on Citizen. Okay. And Kenyans were watching when the governor was misbehaving. And for heaven's sake, the margins in Juja is so huge that even you cannot try to rig. Now, if you want to know that these people, you see, the problem with these Kieleweke Jubilee people, it is madharau, chest stamping, and impunity. You can clearly see in 2013, Justice William Ouko declared that when he was dismissing the application by IBC on saying that at the tallying center they can add and subtract. Okay. And William Ouko and the High Court at that time declared that the declarations at the polling center or at the polling station are the main results. Okay. So if you are to rig, I'm just trying to advise the people, the Governor Nyoro goons. If you are to rig, go and rig at the polling station. You don't go to rig at the tallying center. So I was looking at Nyoro and I was wondering with this guy, what is he thinking? Or what are these smoke? But one thing I'm trying to say, all these things, and my brother Solomon has tried to highlight some of the issues that Jubilee thing might be suffering from. Okay. But the real reason is this. All the problems that Kenyans are suffering are being associated by Jubilee. And the buck stops with the president. Okay. The issue, the cost of living in this country is so huge and it's so high. Today, for a normal person to put breakfast on the table, for a family of 3 people, that is a husband, wife, and a son or daughter, you need 150 shillings because milk is almost 70 bob, bread is almost 70 bob. If you are to fry an egg today, cooking oil, 1 liter is almost 500.
Yeah, must you use cooking oil? You can just fry without cooking oil.
If you are to drive your car, fuel, the other month, they added the price of fuel with 5 shillings. Last week, they have added with 3 shillings. So the cost of living in this country is going beyond reasonable for the human being. Then the second thing is the pandemic. Okay. The corona issue. Jubilee has failed to address. For this simple reason. Within a month, Jubilee managed to marshal government resources and collected 4 million signatures for BBI. But Jubilee is telling Kenyans that Kenya for 15 million Kenyans to be vaccinated, it will be up to 2023. You can look at these issues. Then the other issue is the economy. The economy is doing so badly. Kenyans cannot make any money anymore. Businesses are collapsing day in, day out. Look at this newspaper. All the pages are full of people auctioning things. The other thing is the BBI, which was not a priority for the country. And I thank the High Court managed to stop the reggae. And all these things are being associated with Jubilee. So any candidate in any election, even I hope my brother, the cattle dip chairman, when he is going to seek for another election, he should not contest on a ticket of Jubilee.
Solomon KURIA, there are 2 statements I want to read for you so that as you respond. A statement from IBC first. And we are talking about fixing the electoral issues that we have as a country. I want you to give what you think could hold the future of elections, especially from what you think playing down. Now, this statement from IEBC last night, and says, for immediate release, suspension of tallying process for Juja constituency member of parliament by election. The date is 18th May 2021. At around 10:20 p.m. tonight, there was a disruption of the tallying process at Mango High School Tallying Center in Juja constituency by a group of individuals led by Kiambuga County Governor, Mr. James Nyoro. These acts of hooliganism made it impossible for the tallying process to proceed. In order to ensure the safety of our staff, the electoral materials, and to preserve the integrity of the election process, the Commission hereby suspends the tallying process and announcement of results until normalcy is fully restored. And the election material and results brought in by the presiding officer have been secured by the Commission. Candidates are urged to keep vigil until the exercise resumes. The Commission regrets the developments as maintenance of law and order during election is not its mandate. What's your feeling?
One, I also say the contest in Juja, other than having a weak candidate, the contest still went down to Governor Nyoro versus Moses KURIA. Okay. And Nyoro lost. It's good to see. And sometimes some of these mistakes should not even be associated with the Jubilee Party. They should be associated with such individuals, and it is wrong. Okay. And number two, I also want to say this.
Because the reason I'm asking this is because you saw Moses KURIA Ndindi Nyoro being kicked out of the tallying center. I saw you saw the videos. I have the videos. If you doubt, you can play them. But why is it that the police were so lenient on Nyoro? He was inside. He was shouting inside there, and you can hear that he let in guns there. Why is that we are not having the police system working against that?
I wouldn't be in a good position to answer that about the policemen and why. I didn't watch the whole thing, how it unfolded, but what I know is that there is accreditation for whoever should get into a tallying center. So who is supposed to ensure that happens? It is IEBC in consultation with the police.
IBC said it's not its responsibility to do that. It's the police.
No. But they are the people who accredits people. They are the people who give the agents, chief agents, badges to get into the tallying center. Okay. So if anybody got into the tallying center without a badge, then it is a failure in a good working relation between
the police and IBC.
Between the police and IBC. Okay. Then let me come to another reason why we are where we are today, and why we are discussing a loss in Rurie and Juja as at now. It's because we allowed people we should not be competing with to compete with us. That's the point.
KHALENDE.
And you listen to Joe as he speaks, yes. And you know he works for William and Tagatanga.
Do you work for William?
Because what was he doing in Georgia? So, and you would assume that we talk William Ruto left government. Yes. And the last time I checked, the deputy party leader for Jubilee Party is William Ruto. So when Jubilee has achieved, William is very quick to associate with the success. Okay. When there is a challenge, he is also very quick
to distance himself.
Yes, at a Panasonic speed to disassociate himself from the same. But I want to say, it is unfair. It is unfortunate that in Rurie Ward, UDA, a party which claims to have a coalition agreement with Jubilee Party, fielded a candidate in Rurie and won. Contested against Jubilee. In Juja, we have a whole member of parliament in the name of Moses KURIA who earns salary, who draws salary, courtesy of Jubilee Party, which sponsored him to parliament. And he was there campaigning for a different party, PEP, and he won. So I'm saying, what is wrong with our disciplinary committee? They should have chased these people from the party a long time ago. Yes. And remember, in 1966, we had what was called a mini general election. A little general election, which happened in 1966. Over 26 members were chased out of KANU. Because by then, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga had formed his own party. So they were told, since you have joined Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, now you are no longer members of KANU, and therefore you have lost your seats. 26 of them.
So it's time Jubilee did that?
No. In fact, it is long overdue. Why do you have to wait? You keep the snake in the house. So you come to realize that, oh, this was a snake when it has already swallowed you. So it is wrong. It is wrong to have Moses Kuria campaigning against Jubilee, yet he's a Jubilee Party member. Jubilee Party member of Parliament. It is wrong to have Faith Gitau and UDA campaigning in Rorie. And they're still members of Jubilee. And I mean, it is competing against yourself and losing to yourself.
But the question is, the purges that are happening in Jubilee, don't you think it's destroying the party more? Even as you say, let's continue kicking out people.
Let me say this. If I was...
Because the same people you're kicking out are the same people who are going to beat you out there.
I'd let them go out there and win with me. What I would say, if I was President Uhuru Kenyatta, I would rather remain with 2 or 3 or 1 person who is loyal to me than having 100 whose loyalties are scattered all over. And that is how presidents lose. You count your members of parliament in the National Assembly, you say you have 150. But in real sense, you have just a few. Are we together? So it is the time to separate chaff from wheat.
From the grain.
Yes, from the grain. And say, it is time those who say bad things, who don't toe the line, and let me say this, toe the line.
Yeah.
Because
party position.
We have, yes, party position. The other day, and I like His Excellency, former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga. Because the man is firm. The other day, Otiende Amolo tried to say some things against BBI. He was quick. He was quick to say, now, Otiende, now since you chair JLAC committee, and you're not speaking, you are not towing the line as the party says. The party says we support BBI to the end. You have started bringing, some English and other things. You have to quit. We have tolerated these guys to this far and see now the results.
And Gerard, I feel pity for my brother Solomon.
Because
by the end of this show, I think when he walks out, he'll find he's no longer the chairman of Jubilee Youth Week. Because one thing that Jubilee fears is being told the truth.
Okay.
And my brother here is telling the truth about why Jubilee is losing those by-elections. And that's going to land him into trouble. But this is what I wanted to say. We disagree to agree.
Okay.
And the moment we are in one political party, it does not mean that we are going to lose our brain, our differences in diverging in opinion.
Okay.
What we are saying, that we are like-minded people. There is some ideology that is driving us. But on certain issues, we may have divergent views. And in Jubilee, specifically, immediately after the 2017 election, and this thing called handshake happened, we started seeing Jubilee disassociating itself from the truth, from Tuko Pamoja, its foundation of unity. Now it started exclusion, and it went ahead and started punishing those people who are ready to serve the party, but on certain principles and ideology. You see, the moment the current people who are within Jubilee, and I call them Kieleweke, they are cornered, they always end up resulting into 2 or 3 kind of narrative. One is respect the president. The second one, if you oppose Jubilee, resign from Jubilee. But let me ask Solomon, he's the chairman of Jubilee Youth Wing. When was the last time that Jubilee Party hold a PG meeting so that it can sort out its internal issues? And when was the last time, and you have listened from him, he's talking about solving internal issues instead of calling for PG or parliamentary caucuses. He's talking about calling the disciplinary committee. So in Jubilee, the only organ that is functioning and can function even at night, because it is disciplinary committee. And today we know the vice chair who resigned is the only person who can discipline any member. Today, if you say on TV that tomorrow you are no longer a party official or a party member, by the way, tomorrow you will no longer be there. So the issues within Jubilee are specifically because of 2 people who have refused to listen from its members. And parties are not about party officials. Parties are about its members.
Okay.
So my brother should just go. You see, the Jubilee issues is about just taking like few steps back and everything can be sorted. But if they continue with the arrogance, with the madharau, and with these kind of statements that we must toe the line, we must party position. If you ask them for party position, if you are to have party position, why don't the members meet? If it's elected leaders through PG meeting, so that they can come up with a party position. If it's within NEC, how many times has the NEC of Jubilee met and issued party position? And if it's party position, is it party position from an individual or from its members? Those are some of the issues. When you start asking my brother Solomon, he will tell you he likes about ODM. And let me give you a brief history about ODM. ODM is a party on occasional basis. The parliamentary caucus meets on occasional basis. Next meet on occasional basis. They always have PG. And what happened to Otiende Omolo? You can see the repercussion of Raila Amolo Odinga, the party leader of ODM, not listening to Otiende Omolo, to Omugendi, and to Honorable Orengo. Reggae was stopped in court because of the issues that the three gentlemen were raising. And those are the same issues that the court narrowed down. So this issue of big man syndrome, chest thumping, has ended in this country. We must forge a robust consultative way of leadership where every voice, where every person matters and everybody's opinion is placed on the table and our ideology and issues are sorted.
Okay.
But here, chest thumping.
Gomo. Hi, I'm moving very quickly. There's a protest from the judiciary, from Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association. I saw an interview with Rafael Tuju and he made very serious comments on judiciary, bordering very extreme comments. I also saw an interview with Mutai Ngunyi on K24. And this is what the judges and magistrates are protesting. I'd want to read the statement to you, gentlemen, so that we can comment. And I would want to tie this up. As you listen to this, let's tie it up to the independence of institutions. IEBC is protesting. The judiciary is protesting. We are heading into an election that is already heated. Even both of you are almost climbing my table. Anyway, let me read the statement from the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association. It's 18 May, Ref KMJ AMH, that is result 2021, 12 Kenyan media houses. This is also what we had actually yesterday as well. Press statement of the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association on the independence of the judiciary and the unwarranted attacks on judges. The Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association, KMJA, is comprised of honorable judges and magistrates and Kahadis. Part of our mandate is to defend and uphold the rule of law and constitution. Article 189, Sabbatical 1 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides that judicial authority is derived from the people and vests in and shall be exercised by the courts and tribunals established by or under Constitution. Article 161 provides that in the exercise of the judicial authority, the judiciary, as constituted by Article 161, shall be subject only to the Constitution and the law and shall not be subject to the control or direction of any person or authority. On 13th May of 2021, a 5-judge bench of the High Court of Kenya delivered the now famous Bibia judgment, which has elicited various discussions. The judgment has since been appealed against. We urge everyone to allow the Court of Appeal to deal with the appeal. In the event of dissatisfaction, a further appeal to be made to the Supreme Court without resorting to any personal attack. KMJA is therefore alarmed by the daily attacks directed at the individual judges who sat at the bench. Such attacks are an affront to the decisional independence of judges and the rule of law. What is surprising is that even high-ranking and powerful officials in the Republic of Kenya have openly threatened the judges who participated in the petition. There are past and documented incidences where judges and judicial officers as well as their associates have been attacked in their line of duty. It is for this reason that we wish to condemn the said utterances in the strongest terms possible. The same are ancient, irresponsible, and retrogressive. We call upon the Inspector General of Police to immediately investigate the said utterances with a view to prosecuting the culprits. The Cabinet Secretary in charge of the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of the National Government should immediately assure Kenyans that our judges and judicial officers are safe given the sensitive nature of their assignments. We also urge the relevant officers of government to immediately engage the judiciary to ensure the security of all judges, magistrates, and cadis. We wish to assure Kenyans that such cowardly acts and veiled threats will not dissuade us from boldly dispensing our duties independently and within the law. Kenyans would recall that in 2007-2008, this country plunged into chaos, partly because there was no faith in the Kenyan courts then. The loud voice of Kenyans on the independence of the judiciary in the Constitution of Kenya 2010 cannot therefore be ignored. That many petitions were filed in court over the BBI case, and that many Kenyans generally litigate their issues in court is testament of their faith in this arm of government. This is what entails the rule of law as opposed to anarchy and impunity. The Kenya judiciary is respected globally, and its decisions. We should be proud of our judges for offering jurisprudential leadership worldwide. An independent judiciary does not mean judges independent of the constitution from which they derive their power, or independence from laws they have sworn to uphold. It does not mean independence from the people from whom they draw judicial authority. It, however, means having judges who can make decisions purely based on the facts before them, the law, and the constitution. Wanjiku should therefore be concerned at those who wish to take us back to the 80s and 90s, where the judiciary was perceived to be an appendage of the executive. KMJA calls upon all Kenyans of goodwill to frown upon those who wish to castigate the judges for doing their work and ultimately bring down the judiciary for their selfish interest. We continually urge those dissatisfied with any decision to follow correct procedure. They should appeal or seek review. I'll start with you, Solomon.
Yes.
What do you make of that statement?
One, I would say I don't support attack on the judiciary.
Yeah.
I'm a person who is law-abiding,
okay,
and I respect their ruling.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing is clear, very clear to me, that I don't support the judgment,
okay,
and whatever they said.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say that the judges should draw a thin line between an attack and criticism. And they should also not stumble on our freedom of expression. That you can only express yourself when you file a case in court to complain about an issue.
Okay.
No. They themselves have not done the same. I have seen, before he left, David Maraga, a former CJ, always complained and called the members of the fourth estate and complained. Did he have no other avenues in the court? He has lawyers.
Okay.
Isn't it? So sometimes there's a thin line between expression, freedom of expression, and an attack. Going to what the statement made by Raphael Tuju, who is my party's Secretary General, he was talking about interdependence. And there is law and there's practice. Yani ni kama vile mnazamanga hapa, si mnapenda kusema hiyo sana Joe, ati mambo kwa ground ni tofauti. So there is what exists up here and there's what is on the ground. So also in law, there's law and there's the practical bit of it. That we like saying judiciary is independent, executive is independent, and legislature is independent. They are independent from each other.
Okay.
But there's an aspect of interdependence. If budget estimates made by the judiciary are not approved by the National Assembly, what do you think happens?
Yeah.
They will complain.
Yes.
We have had budget cuts. If they have not gone to the National Assembly and explained, all their vote heads and why they are saying that they should be allocated this number of billions, then the National Assembly will not approve their budget. So there is that interdependence, which does not kill the independence. I remember Donald Trump at one point talking to some governors, whom he was telling, you guys, you are governors in your states, yes. But you get money from my government. So you can't have my money and seek your independence. I have to give you money and tell you what to do with that money. Are you getting? My government will tell you what to do with that money. And then, how I'm going to deal with this virus, it's up to me, because I am the one with the best advisory when it comes to health and stuff. Okay. So he told them, you draw the line. You seek your independence. Don't come to me with money. Come for money from me, and then let me give you the guidelines on how to use the money. Okay. So the same thing applies to our judiciary. Let them also be open to criticism. And number two, sometimes you call politicians here. There are people who are mostly attacked by civilians, by people from the judiciary, by people from any other arm of government, are the members of parliament, the National Assembly, and the Senate. So, and I have never heard of them complaining that, legislature is independent. Stop attacking. No, they take criticism. Okay. They get the negative and the positive. They work on the positive criticism. Okay. So our judiciary too should be open to that. And finally, Bitok, huu ni mwiba wa kujidunga. When you have people complaining, you opened up that loophole. You gave them that loophole to attack or maybe complain. Because one, there was a case in 2019 challenging the legality of IEBC as currently constituted with 3 commissioners. In the High Court, the same High Court that ruled against BBI, in that very same High Court, the judge pronounced himself and said that IEBC, as currently constituted with 3 commissioners, can actually perform all the functions as per the constitution. And one of them is referendum. Then these 5 judges bench came and said that, IEBC, as currently constituted, is unconstitutional. The ruling number 2 was made on March 2020 by another judge of the High Court. And it was that way alliance against the proponents of the BBI. And they were saying that the President Uhuru Kenyatta cannot initiate the process of constitutional amendment. The judge pronounced himself, and he gave 2 fundamental reasons on why he approved that BBI was okay and should continue. He said, President Uhuru Kenyatta, he did not mention him, but he said the President of Kenya is the symbol of unity. Okay. And being the symbol of unity, he must look for ways to unite the country. Whichever ways he chooses is left to him. Okay. So how he does that is his own choosing. That is what the judge said. So President Uhuru Kenyatta chose to amend the constitution to unite Kenyans. Are you getting? And that is how the judge ended up saying that BBI is legal. Then, in the same High Court, this is another 5 judges bench. And they said that BBI is null and void. Then you wonder, where do you have to go? If someone can go to the same court, get a ruling, get a judgment. Tomorrow, another 17 petitions are taken there from the same High Court, which read the same constitution of Kenya, gives you something different. Kenyans have to complain because we cannot be there and there. And then finally, they opened this loophole. President Uhuru Kenyatta was not a petitioner. Was not a respondent in any of those petitions. Okay. Why they could not even refer to him as President Uhuru Kenyatta? They started saying Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta. He was not even a respondent in that. So disrespect. And you remember, some of the 3 judges who are there were supposed to be promoted to go to the Court of Appeal, from High Court to Court of Appeal. And the president did not approve that list. So there is also a sense of anger and frustration, and this was the best way to revisit the executive. All right.
So he has finally revisited.
They have finally revisited. And you could even tell that the mood, the facial expressions, these guys were sincerely revisited.
They were revisited and then they revisited the revisitor.
They were revisited and
then they revisited the revisitor. What do you make of the statement? You are a lawyer. KHALENDE. What do you make of this statement?
Gerard, the statement
Solomon is saying the revisitor was revisited.
So it was revenge. It was vengeance served cold.
The attack.
But Joe,
they had the last laugh. Okay.
Reggae has post. So we are saying nobody can stop reggae. When it comes back, we are going to say no reggae music again.
Reggae music again. Okay.
Okay. What I can say on the attacks on judiciary, it is barbaric, it is archaic, and it's bad manners. More so the threats and the intimidation targeted at judiciary. Because I saw the gentleman who was issuing such statement that a judge who is issuing a ruling, at the end of the day, he'll be escorted by the policeman to his house. And the same person is in court, in the same court that he's attacking for a case against him for bankruptcy. So how do you on one side attack judiciary and on the other side you want assistance from judiciary? And this is one thing that this country, leaders in this country must appreciate, that we must respect the constitutional institutions that we have in this country. And what we need to know is one thing, that Kenya will win when we respect the rule of law without conditionality. And we will enrich our jurisprudence as a country if we appreciate such judgments. In 2017, I led a Labour Party in supporting Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. But after the ruling, I appreciated the ruling because I'm a student of law. And I took upon myself to study the ruling so that I can enrich myself with the jurisprudence and look at the reasons why the Maraga bench, the Supreme Court, reached on that decision.
Okay.
And they categorically said, election is not an event. It is a process.
Okay.
And anybody, and those people who are attacking judiciary, if they could have done the same thing in 2017 the way I did, they by now, they should appreciate they should not be on the forefront disrupting or causing chaos in Juja. Because election is not an event. It is a process.
It's a process, okay.
Yes. And we must respect it. So these issues, and this is the continuous bad manners from these Jubilee Kieleweke people. Every now and then, they have failed to run the political party. They are using threats and intimidation. They have failed to advise the president on the priorities of this country. They have gone for something which is not a priority in this country, which is BBI. It has been stopped by the judiciary. Now they are using the same threat and intimidation. And my brother, Solomon, you cannot say for the president to unite this country, he must amend the constitution. This country was united since 2013. What has changed here in the middle that he needs to amend the constitution?
What united us?
Because for simple reason, this is the same person who has failed to respect judiciary and uphold the court rulings from the same judiciary which have been issued to the executive. Where is Meguna in this country? How many court orders has the court issued about Meguna's issue? How many court orders have people received from judiciary and the same executive has gone ahead to demolish homes for these people who have the court orders? Today, the CAS are in office illegally. The president and the executive have refused to respect the court orders. The list is endless. So, the president cannot pretend that he will amend the constitution and will respect the constitution after amending it. If he has the respect for the constitution, let him respect the 2010 constitution the way it is and implement it, and all the things that he wants to achieve can be achieved without this amendment in BBI.
Okay. Do you agree with the issues raised? Do you agree with the judgment? The issues raised by the judgment?
I agree entirely.
Okay. Why do you agree
with
with them?
The issues.
Why do you agree with them?
For simple reason. My brother is saying the president initiated the popular initiative. The popular initiative under Article 257 and the parliamentary initiative are two distinct avenues of amending the constitution. The popular initiative was specifically meant for Omwami in Bulanda village.
Okay.
For simple reason, and the ingredients within the popular initiative.
And Uhuru Kenyatta from Ishaweri.
The moment you become, the moment you are elected the president,
you are not a citizen.
You are a state officer. You are no longer a common. Okay. You are no longer Omwami of Bulanda village.
Where is Bulanda? Bulanda is in Matayos or where?
Bulanda is in Matayos. You are no longer. There is no way the president can flip-flop from being a citizen and being a president.
Being Wanjiku and being a president.
Being Wanjiku and being the president.
Where do you see being Wanjiku?
The moment he's elected, and we as Wanjiku
and he enjoys the immunity of the
presidency. In fact, if you go back to the constitution, it will give you these things. And some of these things, you don't read the constitution in one clause. You read it in its entirety. And this is the specific reason. We, the people, are sovereign. We donate our powers indirectly to our elected leaders.
So they have donated to Uhuru.
We have donated it to Uhuru.
So now he can initiate.
Has been elevated.
So he can initiate on their behalf. Because
he cannot initiate on
their representative.
I was explaining for you
this
popular initiative, why he cannot initiate for us. The ingredients within the popular initiative starts with civic education, comes to public participation, come to constituent power, and eventually it will go to a referendum. Do you know why? The popular initiative, it is the Wanjiku, it is the Omwami of Bulanda to bring his issues on the table
and say
for the constitution to be amended.
Thank you very much.
For you to appreciate that point, you must go back to the history of this country. How we arrived to the 2010 constitution. How we mutilated the Lancaster constitution. And it started with the same game tricks or theatrics the way Uhuru has started. And the most unfortunate thing...
And I'll give you an opportunity to
please let me finish. And the most unfortunate or fortunate part, the people who mutilated the Lancaster constitution and the people who are mutilating this constitution, the 2010 constitution, have a relationship. The people who mutilated the Lancaster constitution was Mzee Jomo Kenyatta and the likes. The people who want to mutilate the 2010 constitution is Uhuru Kenyatta the son. So you see the relationship. Let me give you the history now. We started with the Lancaster constitution, which had Majimbo, which is the current thing we have it, devolution. Mzee Jomo Kenyatta removed that. Through this thing that he's the president. When Moi was in, we moved from multi-party state to a single party state, depending with how the president wanted to run the country. So when we went for repealing the constitution, and when Kenyans were assembled at Bomas of Kenya said that we want a constitution that is binding to all citizens, and it will be very hard for the people in power to mutilate the constitution. And the drafters in the same spirit gave us the two clauses that are making it hard for the executive, for the people in power, for the deep state to mutilate the constitution. So what they did, the group that Solomon is representing today, they went and drafted the BBI and brought it to Mwanainchi to approve. But the popular initiative is supposed to be that Mwanainchi is bringing the issues. So, and when the court is telling them this thing, you know, maybe the English from the court is difficult, but I'm simplifying it. If Uhuru thinks that we must amend this constitution and that Kenya has reached a constitutional moment, the way he likes saying it, let Kenyans of all walks of life be assembled at Bomas of Kenya. We go the same process the way we started and arrived to the 2010 constitution. But not two people to sit somewhere and initiate a process where it is gazetted, where government money has been dished out, MCS are being intimidated and are being bribed, MPs are being intimidated and are being bribed. We will not accept. We will support any initiative so long as the due process is followed. And there is one avenue that has been availed for President Uhuru Kenyatta. He can take the parliamentary initiative. But the popular initiative is specifically for Wanjiku. And that's how I interpret the ruling from the High Court.
Right. Solomon, KURIA?
Yeah, well, two things very fast. One, you cannot separate the 2010 Constitution from the legacy of Mwai Kibaki. In fact, every documentary about him in this country says Mwai Kibaki gave us the 2010 Constitution. So we must not swallow our words as even as we want to comment on issues. Number two, Joe has alluded to a fact that, oh yes, the popular initiative should be started by the Mwananchi. The promoters of BBI are Dennis Waweru and Junet Mohammed. Those are the real promoters. Yes. No. This was a handshake.
Okay. Those are promoters.
Are we together? Are we together? This was a handshake. And, I've been in BBI from day one up to now.
Okay.
I know what we have done in this country. All around. So, let me educate him on BBI because he can only comment from a layman. On this one, I'm an expert on BBI.
Okay.
You can only comment.
The promoters of BBI are experts of BBI.
We have over 4.5 people, 4.5
million
people who appended their signatures in support of the amendment of the Constitution. 4.5 million. We took the signatures to IEBC. They got tired when they got to around 1.3 million. And they said, these are enough. So they had no time looking for the rest. So 1 million signature threshold was arrived at. The signature, the document was sent to county assemblies. 43 out of 47 supported the document. Came to Parliament. National Assembly, 235 members supported it. 83 said no. It was taken to Senate. 52 said yes. About 12 said no. So all along it has been a